I quit all my digital addiction 6 months ago, and now I realize that it's actually much easier to quit your screen time when you know how the bad habit actually works. And that's what we're gonna go over in this video. There's something called the habit loop. There's basically four parts of it, and everything that I know from this video is based off these three books: um, Atomic Habits, The Power of Habit, and the 33 Laws of Business and Life. So, what is the habit loop? So, before I actually explain what the habit loop is, I'll tell you a quick story of mine, and let's see if you can actually identify the four parts of the bad habit. So about 1 year ago, 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, and within that period, I used to wake up well before school, like an hour before I actually had to go, like something along those lines. And almost every day, I would tell myself, okay, I'm gonna be productive today. I'm gonna get closer to becoming an entrepreneur. I'm gonna try to make money online, etc., etc. I'll read a book. I'll become productive, etc., etc. But I would wake up and then I would just get these like massive urges to grab my phone and scroll. Um, so I did because it felt weird for me being awake and not scrolling. It felt weird just waking up and then doing something. It felt like I was supposed to wake up and then just start scrolling. So I'd get a massive craving to just start scrolling. So then I'd pick up my phone, I would start scrolling, and then I would feel like relieved after that because whew, now I don't like feel weird about not scrolling because now I am actually scrolling. So if you didn't catch the four parts, here are the four parts. There's the cue, there's the craving, there's the response, and then there's the reward. So the cue is the trigger that starts the habit. That can be like a good habit or a bad habit, but in this case, we're talking about a bad habit. And my trigger, like my cue, was just waking up. How crazy is that? I think it's the same for most people. We wake up and then we get a trigger because we woke up, which is inevitable. So we have this trigger no matter what to start scrolling. So that's my trigger. So the craving is the desire or urge behind the habit. So this was me feeling weird being awake when I'm not scrolling. It felt weird just waking up and then not scrolling. So I would feel weird. I'd like kind of want some stimulation, want to scroll, and that's the craving. So the response is actually doing the behavior. So that was me grabbing my phone, putting in the pin code, opening YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, whatever I was using, and then actually start scrolling. So the reward is the benefit or satisfaction you get from actually doing the bad habit, which is scrolling, right? So it was me feeling relieved, me feeling stimulated, me feeling like temporarily happy because now I like was scrolling, right? So what's an example of this? Like another example that's actually more focused on scrolling. So it could be, for example, you sitting on your desk trying to work and then you feel bored. So that could be a trigger. You feeling bored is a trigger. Then the craving comes. You want stimulation. You want to escape the boredom. You don't want to feel bored anymore. You kind of don't want to like do the work that you're sitting on your desk to do. You don't want to do the homework, etc., etc. So then you want some stimulation. Then the response is you opening Instagram, and the reward is you feeling entertained, you feeling distracted for a moment where you are like you're not like bored anymore, right? So now you know the four parts of the habit loop. How do you now use this to actually reduce your screen time? So you know about the four parts of the habit loop now. Now how do you actually use that? Who gives a fuck, right? Just before I say that, if you want guaranteed results, like if you actually want to quit your phone, I've helped tons of guys with this. Click on the first link in the description. It's guaranteed. If you don't get the results, you get all your money back. So, yeah, we leverage the inversion of the four principles. So, the inversion of the four principles is make it invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying. I will get to what this actually means now. So, let's look at the first part, the cue, which we want to make invisible. So this could be examples of, for example, if you get triggers from just looking at your phone, which a lot of people do, you could just put your phone in another room. Then you don't get that trigger anymore. Obviously, you can still get mental triggers. You can still feel the boredom and then etc. etc. Like the example just previously. But if you could put your phone into another room, you would at least alleviate yourself of that one trigger of just seeing your phone laying around. It could be you seeing the Instagram app, which would then give you a trigger to start watching Instagram. So you could just delete the app. You could turn off all notifications. Bro, I hate when I'm with someone and I'm gonna just hear like the notification sounds like. I don't have that on my phone, except for the fact like I have it with how do you say? I have it with like the government. If the government sends me something like immediate, like there's a fire or a war or something like that, then I'll get a notification. Now, the second part is the craving. So how do we make the craving unattractive? We make the craving unattractive by knowing the consequences of the bad habit. So if we know that, oh yeah, I will break my, if you have like a streak or something like that, or if I'm your coach, if you actually click the first link in the description, I will be kind of disappointed in you and I will say this and that to you if you keep yourself accountable. If you just know the consequences, you're like, oh yeah, I'll ruin my dopamine baseline. I won't be able to work properly and then I won't reach my goals. That is making the craving less attractive. So the third thing is the response. We want to make the response difficult. We can make the response more difficult by setting up app blockers on, like, for example, Instagram, if we didn't already delete it, etc. You could have an accountability partner or a coach who could just the accountability part will make the response way more difficult because you know the consequences of it. And you could have an fuck, I scroll way too far down. Actually, forget what I just said. You could log. So this is the third thing from the response. You could log out of social media after every single use, so that if you want to use it, you have to log back in. Or you could set up long passcodes to your phone. So the reward, which is what I actually was talking about with making it unsatisfying, is have an accountability partner or a coach. And this is you knowing that, okay, I get the reward, but I also get this very bad thing. I'll have to tell him I'm keeping myself accountable. It's gonna ruin my like social status, if you could say so. It's gonna ruin my like social standing and etc. etc. And you can have like a punishment if you mess up. So there's something I do called like commitment contracts, and that's where you, for example, say, okay, if I scroll within the next 14 days, then I have to give a stranger $100 or something like that. Then you know that, okay, if I scroll, I have to do that, and I have like $200 to my name, so it would kind of ruin me. So now I can't do it, right? So how do you now take what you know to actually reduce your screen time? So focus on each part of the habit loop and see what you can improve. So I'll say the 4 parts again. There's a cue, there's a craving, there's a response, and there's a reward. The cue is kind of like the trigger, the craving is you wanting it, the response is you doing it, and the reward is what happens when you do the bad habit. So yeah, or you could just start with the onion method, which is my strategy, which focuses on some other stuff, but this is like how you break the habit in terms of like, how do you say, like actually like breaking the habit, but I focus more on identity, which I think is stronger. So you could click the first link in the description, get guaranteed results, make sure you actually reduce your screen time, break everything, because I quit everything 6 months ago. I've helped guys with it. Everyone, bro, fuck, just click the first link in the description, take some action, have a good rest of the day, see you, brother.